everybody, and welcome to Midnight's Edge After Dark. My name is Tom Connors. I'm here to talk to you live on the air. I have a little bit of news to discuss. We're going to talk a little bit about Lucasfilm's new senior vice president of live action development and production. Now, is this person taking over for Kathleen Kennedy in 2021? Probably. And who is she and what is she going to do? We're going to get into that just a little bit here. Her name is Michelle Rejwan. Let's say that she has been very good friends with J.J. Abrams for a very long time. In fact, she was a producer on Super 8. She worked with him on Star Trek Into Darkness and The Force Awakens and some other things. And I believe she has some ties to Bad Robot. So I don't know, it kind of feels weird here. I don't know what's all going on. What do you guys think about this a little bit? Let's see what you're saying in the chat right now. Gamer Man wants a pod racing movie set 100 years before the Skywalkers about underground circuits and professional ones. Yeah, that could be a possibility. I don't know. This lady, though, sounds like will be overseeing the new shows that are upcoming, any of the new movies that are coming out, the new trilogies, what have you. Really, it's just kind of odd that this announcement comes now, right when J.J. Abrams is making his great big deal with Warner Brothers. Now, when we reported back that Kathleen Kennedy was probably on her way out, or that Disney wanted to fire her, but they weren't able to because of the whole situation with nobody wanting to take over, they offered it to JJ. That was the rumor. So if this is all true, maybe this is the person that JJ said, yeah, hire her. She's the person who should be doing this. Because I'm not doing it. Not after a woman and not after Kathleen Kennedy. So that's more than likely what was said. But let's break down this story real quick. Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy has named Michelle Rejwan as Senior Vice President of Live Action Development and Production for Lucasfilm. Rejwan is a producer on the upcoming Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker and was a co-producer on 2015 Star Wars The Force Awakens and also a co-producer on Bad Robots, Star Trek Into Darkness, and an associate producer on his 2011 movie Super 8. On his, as in J.J. Abrams. They didn't even say his name. Learn how to write. Deadline. This, of course, is coming from Deadline. I should have said that. Redron will oversee the new slate of feature films and episodic series for Lucasfilm and Disney Plus, and continue to produce with Kathleen Kennedy as Star Wars franchise is built out. Working with Michelle over the last 7 years as a producer on both the Star Wars The Force Awakens and now Rise of Skywalker, I've seen firsthand her skills collaborating with writers and directors, and I've been incredibly impressed with her creative skills and her ability to manage the complexity surrounding these massive projects, says Kennedy. I know the importance of building a team that you trust and have fun working with. It's paramount to our success. There's an exciting momentum building around the future of the franchise, and both myself and the Lucasfilm team look forward to working with Michelle in shaping the future in all areas of development, from theatrical development to live-action content for Disney+. So what exactly does this mean? Let's take a look at what we're talking about here. I should have had it up already. Sorry about that, guys. Michelle Rejwan is she's somebody who's worked a lot with J.J. Abrams, and it makes you wonder, like I said in the intro, what is going on here and what they are bringing her on for. Now, what do you guys think? This just seems odd that they would announce this out of the blue like this. And, we've said before, once they decide what they're going to do about all this situation, it's going to be after the merger. It's going to be, when everything's kind of calmed down. So yeah, what are you guys saying in the chat here? Let's take a look. Oh, don't remind me. Try to get back on. Evening friends, says Striderman. Bad reboot is going to ruin all of our franchises. Haven't they already? Sean Strife says evening. Bad reboot is going to kill Hollywood. They kind of have already, it seems like, to a point. If it isn't Michael Bay, it's J.J. Abrams. Now, I brought up this woman's IMDb, and she hasn't really done a whole lot of anything. She doesn't even have a wiki. So this is the person who's going to be in charge of Star Wars, folks. This is what she's done, and all of what she's done. She's worked in the casting department as miscellaneous crew, mainly as an assistant to J.J. Abrams, it looks like, and Jeff Garlin. She was a producer, though, an associate producer on Super 8, a co-producer on Star Trek Into Darkness, co-executive producer on Star Trek Secret of the Universe, a TV movie documentary. I'm assuming it's a making of one of the Star Trek films, probably the second one it looks like. Co-producer on Star Wars The Force Awakens. She was an executive producer on Monster Challenge, which was a short film, and a producer, of course, on the upcoming Rise of Skywalker, as we said. What has she really done to deserve this? And this has nothing to do with her sex. This has nothing to do with anything other than what has she done to deserve to be the head of Lucasfilm, arguably the biggest company in the world. When you put Star Wars and Indiana Jones together right there, that's pretty much, competitive with like Marvel and stuff. So God, I just don't understand this move. And likely she'll be taking over in KK's place come 2021. How can they put it? That's what I'm saying, Ronan Blade. How can they even put a nobody in charge? It makes no sense whatsoever. What do you guys think out there? Who should be doing this? I mean, or who has she done straight? Well, we don't want to get into that. We don't want to go there. Ronan Blade says Star Wars is doomed. Might as well put the coffin in the ground. The Rise of Skywalker's pants is going to be a dumpster fire. Yeah, she's probably done judging. Well, she was his assistant. I'm not going to speculate. I'm just saying. I wish I could get the chat to pop up here, guys. So how is everybody doing in the YouTube lands out there? It's not who you know, it's who you blow. Well, like I said, I don't want to get into that. Nyla says, should we still care after all that's been done and said? Well, that's just it. Do they really have an audience left? I mean, seriously. James Poole says, in 1981-82, George Lucas asked David Lynch to make Return of the Jedi. Lynch said, that's a Lucasfilm, not a Lynch film. Rian Johnson got his, and we got Dune at least. Yeah, I guess you could look at it that way. Probably more scissor action with KK. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on that. Let me see if I can bring the chat up in a different way here, because it's kind of goofy in this live thing. James Poole says 1981. I didn't plan on going live, but then when I went live and goofed up earlier when I was going to do this video before, enough of you showed up that I was like, well, why not? What the hell? Let's do it. So there's a couple of you watching right now. I mean, let's see what you guys are talking about in the chat. This is kind of the format I guess I was kind of looking at doing for a live show, because that way I don't have to rely on anybody else to be here. I get to talk to you guys and interact with you guys, which is not something we always get to do on the show because we're talking to each other so much. She looks creepy. Yeah, I don't know if she looks creepy or not per se, but Jeremy over at Geeks and Gamers, I watched the High Council earlier. He found a goofy picture of her. Looked like she was trying to eat a TIE fighter. It was X-Wing. It was kind of funny. They should give it to Jon Favreau. That's not a bad choice. And it doesn't have to be a guy necessarily. Nobody's saying it has to be a guy. But at this point, who really could we trust on this? That's the thing. Sean Strife says, I kind of feel like the best choice would have been Feige. Feige seemed interested, and it looks like they've already got his replacement lined up for Marvel. Well, that's what I had said before, too. I mean, I had heard rumblings that Feige was the one they were kind of looking at trying to take over Lucasfilm, or at least oversee Star Wars and that whole universe there. Uh, but then with the whole James Gunn getting fired, that kind of threw a wrench in that. But now he's back, so who knows what's going to happen? Because of course everybody probably remembers that there was, a lot of talk that James Gunn was going to be the one to oversee the cosmic side of the Marvel universe. So. King of Mars says Star Wars is dead. I get that feeling too. I mean, even Mecca on our show we did earlier, she kind of got a little worked up, but she's kind of like me. She's gotten to the point where just Star Wars, just the thought of it doesn't even excite you anymore. In some aspects, it makes you sick to your stomach. With everything that's been done, especially between Solo and The Last Jedi, you're just done. You're done with it as a franchise. You're just like, I don't need it. I don't need it in my life. I don't need the headache. And why would I want to continue to watch something that's just going to make me feel like shit? You know? And again, that was just rumors, rumblings. Nothing to verify it. So, yeah. But, so what is going on with you guys? What do you want to talk about? I mean, there really isn't much more to say about this till we see what happens. I mean, basically, she's going to be like, there. I mean, is this... Do you guys think that that's what's going on here? She's kind of taking over for Kathy, and Kathy's kind of on the outs already. And this is her way of playing nice. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? This is it's a little kind of out of the blue. Nobody expected this. So, and like I said, we brought it up in the show the other night. I don't know if I said that yet, but we brought it up in the show last night. Well, technically last night, be the other night for some people when they're watching this, and kind of went through it, and we heard it, and it kind of clicked, but it didn't click at first, and then everybody started reporting it, so it was like, oh, what the fuck's going on here, So yeah, it's just an interesting kind of thing that makes you wonder what's going on. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. Yeah, let's see. How you doing? James Poole and Castantino's in the chat. Don't want no people hate Star Wars anymore. We have the OT. I mean, it's not that I hate Star Wars. It's just that everything that's gone on has just made me feel like, there's no sense in getting excited for anything anymore. I really have just kind of really lost the taste for it. I don't get excited for Star Wars like I used to. I know a few other people who are kind of the same way. More, like I said earlier, Mecca was kind of the same way. She's just like, I've had enough of Star Wars, And I get that to a point. You get that once in a while. You get to that point. And to a lot of people, Star Wars is done. That's just it. So, what's the point? But let's talk about something else. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? I mean, we don't have to just talk about Star Wars, or we can talk about a different aspect of Star Wars. Don't matter to me. Yep, that's right. Ronan Blade, no respect. We reject no money from the evil mouse for the evil empire. That's right. Disney has had a policy where adults can't dress up as characters for a while. It wasn't invented for Star Wars fans. I think you guys must be talking about the whole thing with the whole Star Wars galaxy thing. Nihilist Shadow says, I'm burnt out on Star Wars. It used to be special with trilogy coming every few decades, but now Disney wants one every year. Boring. Well, they're backing off. They've learned. Well, it isn't. They could have 10 Star Wars movies a year and 5 series as long as they're good. Marvel's proved that. I mean, yeah. Hey, Generation Productions says he lost me for a second. Sorry about that. J. Roar says, we hate the attack on our modern mythology by the leftist agenda, even if you're on the left. Well, I'm on the left for the most part for some things, conservative on others. We don't get into too many politics here. But yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about this whole SJW NPC culture that's overtaking everything in our pop culture. It's just getting ridiculous. STD and much of a disaster it is. Oh, you guys are talking about Star Trek. Okay. Uh, okay, Sean Strife says, I mean, I'm not even as allergic to having more LGBTQ representation in movies, but the problem is Hollywood is handling it so clumsily. I actually think that part of it has to do with China, though. See, but that's the thing. I don't know about that because over there, they're less accepting of other cultures other than, and they don't even really care to see, like, what Rob has said and other people have said in our chats before is that people in China don't go to see, American movies to see Chinese actors or, whatever. They go to see big movie stars. They go to see, you know, Will Smiths and Johnny Depps and stuff like that. And when you have something like Star Wars and they basically treat the legacy characters the way they do, what few people do give a shit about Star Wars over there, which is few because if you've listened or watched some of our earlier videos on some of the subject on the main channel, Star Wars has never been, or you may even just be aware of, Star Wars has never been real big in China because it didn't even get released back in the day. And they were trying to get people on board over there. And see, I'm not so sure that China is so much a big market for them in a sense that they get the money from any of the movies that are big over there. It's the investors. See, I think that's what people don't really see and realize because from what I've been told, in most cases, most movies that do show over there, the American distributors are lucky to get anywhere from 10 to 20%, which makes sense because, I mean, between the theaters keeping their amount, you have all kinds of in between stuff going on, and people who are, handling all the distribution over there and all the advertising, all that kind of stuff. So you sign these deals, and basically you just get paid, a small portion of that amount. So, all right. All right. So let's see. Sean Strife, you agree, or Joe agrees with Sean Strife. What did Sean Strife say before? Are you talking about the same thing? Somebody on the left, I can agree this wholeheartedly. It's just a shame that Hollywood is just handling it so clumsily. The risk-free nature of Hollywood is a huge problem. Yes. Well, stuff. Try not to anyway. I know it's tough with some of the topics involved. But yeah, you can't really get too much into that. I don't want to anyway on this. But yeah, what else is going on out there, guys? I mean, is there anything going on? My original intention wasn't even to go live. I meant to actually just I had actually intended to just record a video on this, but a few of you popped on, and here I am. And I figured, why not talk to you guys, kind of a test run of what it would be like by myself. I've never really done it too much by myself, so just see what you guys think of that. Think of this. Let me know what you think about the whole Michelle Wedron situation and what that entails and what you think is going on there and her connections with JJ. And let me know about what you guys think about just yakking with me by myself here, talking to you guys in the chat. So, I mean, I know there's not a whole lot of you in there right now, but, if you guys got some questions for me, shoot them my way. Here we go. Bayonne or Rad. Are you looking forward to Spider-Man Far From Home? Yeah, I actually liked Spider-Man Homecoming a little bit more than a lot of people in the community. I didn't mind some of the changes as much because we've gotten so many Spider-Men back to back to back. It was kind of refreshing to see stuff that was a little bit different, and they didn't necessarily trample too much on some of the things. But, I know some people, and I understand why they didn't really like it as much. And yes, Generation Production, I look better without the drag makeup on. Yes, I do. That was for charity. That was for kids. That's what I keep telling myself. Summer 1977 was a great time for Star Wars. Great time. Star Wars was absolutely incredible for the day. It knocked Sorcerer out, and that was a great movie. Okay, gotcha. Let's see here. What else we got? China didn't have that connection to Star Wars the way we did. They had more of a connection to the MCU. Exactly, Sean Strife. That's what I was saying. Is, they didn't grow up with it there. They haven't had it over the years. It has not been something that has really sank into their culture, I'm sure. And yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of aspects to Star Wars that many people over there love, and nothing wrong with that. But it obviously just didn't capture the culture the way it did here and other places in the world. So, Black Christmas remake coming from Blumhouse. Didn't they already remake that once before? Thought they just did that like a couple of years ago. Or am I thinking of one of the other ones? Yeah, I'm not sure. James Poole says he just worked with Jake Gyllenhaal's cousin recently. He's the real deal. I think he can pull off a villain in Far From Home. It's good to hear. I like Jake Gyllenhaal. I've got no issues with him. All right. Ronan Blade says Rogue One was the only movie that captured the feel of Star Wars. Yeah, I kind of agree with that, but you got to remember that movie was a mess behind the scenes. And because the movie actually turned out decent, most people forget how much crap was going on behind the scenes on that. So, yeah. Generation Productions says, LOL, yeah, all good. People, that's all we know really about her, unfortunately. Is Tom coming back to the stream? I'm right here. Let's see here. Jake would be a great Han Solo type in the Star Wars series. Blumhouse also has FNAF license now too, so there's that. FNAF. Not sure what FNAF is offhand. My brain's drawing a blank. The Banana Splits movie. That's a sci-fi movie of all things. They produced it. That was just some weird shit. Nah, I think the trailer gives away too much, but it looks interesting. It looks kind of fun in a weird way. Is there any summer movie that will do good this year? Well, Aladdin's doing well, obviously. I have a feeling Toy Story 4 is going to do very well. That's a given. Outside of that, everything's up in the air. I really couldn't tell you. Spider-Man Far From Home should do well. That should do at least close to Captain Marvel numbers, easy. Let's see here. That said it all. It's J.J. Abrams, man, so to speak. Well, it is one of his lackeys, really. It's one of his plants people. And again, this timing. The timing of this. The timing of the Kurtzman thing. The timing of J.J. going with the Warner Brothers deal and pulling out of all this stuff. Way too conveniently timed. And there's more to it. And, I mean, I don't want to speculate too much. I don't want to put too much out there. But really, what do you guys think? What is your opinion of what's going on? I really want to get everybody's opinion on this, because I'm sure we'll be talking about this on the next show. This will be stuff that we'll discuss in the next few days, obviously. So, Weird Don Johnson was in Boyd His Dog. I've seen that recently. It's a good movie. His Blind Sis was funny. Sharknado was fun. Yeah, I don't see where it'll be a big problem with it. How long do you think it will take to make the new Star Wars trilogy? They're going to want to let things settle. They're going to probably let at least one season of The Mandalorian go by. I think they have a couple other shows and stuff like that. If I had to guess, it'll be 2022, 2023 before we see another Star Wars movie in theaters, I bet. Child's Play isn't looking so good. Heard some early news on some early things on that, not sounding good. So not surprised either, because who expected it to be? I've been saying that since the start. But yeah, Hobbs and Shaw will do well, along with this underdog Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Lion King. Oh yeah, Lion King is going to really do well. Hobbs and Shaw is tough to say, but more than likely, yeah, because the Fast and Furious franchise has really not shown any signs of waning whatsoever. So I hope everybody doesn't mind anything when I have a cigarette here. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood should do well most of the time. Quentin Tarantino's movies do well. I don't think Hateful Eight did as well as everybody was hoping it was going to do, but it had to go up against The Force Awakens too. So, and Tarantino's one of those you're obviously not going to get a huge general audience for all the time, but his movies do tend to make money. So, and I'm a huge Tarantino fan. Don't get me wrong, but I know he's a very acquired taste for most people. So. Yeah, let's see here. Let's try and catch up with the chat. JJ wants to be king of Hollywood. He wants to go down with the greats like Spielberg, Lucas, Tarantino, Kubrick, etc. Yeah. It's probably not all his fault. I mean, he's been kind of fed this thing his whole life that he's, the poster boy for everything. I mean, yeah. Maybe I should get the chat up here on the screen. Let's do that. Let's see here. Real quick, guys, I'm going to add the chat to the screen just so everybody can see it out there and they don't have to do whatever. Let's see if I can do this without... I'm not real good at this stuff yet. Still learning it. Let's see here. Browser, that's what I need. Okay. And there we go. Alright. Now, should be able to... Whoop. I don't want it to take up the whole screen. Okay, I need to hurry up here. Fit the screen. There we go. But I don't want it that big. Oh, that's not working. No, that's not working. Bad idea. Tom, bad idea. So yeah, well, I'll get the chat up here, but it's not gonna work the way I want it to exactly. So let's see here. Since Dumb and Dumber is making the next trilogy, it will be terrible. Yeah, right? No kidding there. Morality124. Hi, Kurtzman apparently did a podcast with Deadline on the 17th, or at least it was published on the 17th. Funny you mentioned that. I listened to that last night. And yeah, chances are it was recorded a little while ago. Think about the timing of how it dropped and when it dropped. Isn't it convenient that every time we do a video on the main channel, some news drops to correspond with it? Yeah, heard it, listened to it. We're going to dissect the fuck out of it tomorrow, I think. I believe Mecca's got a video planned for it. So yeah. Why do you live in a VHS tape logo? It's whatever I put up there. I can be in space. I can be in this. I can change it if it's bothering you. That's not a problem. Let's go back to space. Why not? That's always fun. Boom! I'm in space. All right. Let's go back to the chat. Is there any news on Jurassic World 3? What did I just hear about that? It is happening. Other than the original cast is supposed to be making at least a cameo or a comeback, I haven't heard much. That's all I've heard. Is just that they'll probably, and I'm assuming that means like Alan Grant and all that kind of stuff. Since we already had Jeff Goldblum, he may make a reappearance. They got to do something. The last one sucked ass. James Poole says Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is going to be one of those movies we'll still be talking about 5 years positively. Have you seen it yet, James Poole? Is it good? I love Tarantino. I'm hoping good things for it. That's for sure. Let's see here. What else we got? Okay, that's a reply. Then again, I'll miss some. Is Tom coming back? I'm right here. Unless you mean the drag queen Tom, probably not. I'll probably never make that mistake ever again. Alright. Is Ghostbusters 3 going to be any level of good? I hope so, Mr. Kurt LB. That's up in the air yet, but we're getting news leaking out slowly from it that we're getting the original cast back. I hope the next thing we hear is that Rick Moranis is on board. That would be awesome and amazing and really bring this movie together. Other than that, I'm waiting for a trailer just like everybody else to see what it's going to really be about. We've talked about it here and there. Haven't heard much else about it other than that. There was Ghostbusters Celebration. We had an update with Matt Weiss last week on that. I believe it was last week. Yeah, like last Monday. So check that out if you want a little bit more info on that. Other than that, there wasn't too much new news. Castantino says, guess Boyega isn't happy about current trilogy films. Who would be? Back around to where I was before, because this thing bounces around. Tom, your honest take. Will Tarantino actually direct a Star Trek movie? Nihilus asks. If he wants to. Now, it needs to be understood as of right now, it's under the whole bad robot thing, but I don't know what's all going down over there, so it's hard to say. But yeah, I do believe if Tarantino wants to do it, it will happen. That's the only way it's going to happen. But until he sits down and signs anything or they actually start filming, I'm not going to put any money on it actually happening. So, yeah, moving on. Angron is angry. Angron is angry. Damn it, how late am I to the stream? Not too late. I'm just kind of test streaming more than anything. I was doing an update on the whole Michelle Rejwan story earlier, and I fucked up and went live and didn't mean to. So I figured, the hell with it. A couple of you guys showed up. Might as well. Yeah, kind of a smoke break. You guys smoke them if you got them. Oh, look, Bruce Willis is on stream. That's right. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. I wish I could be Bruce Willis. Bayona Rad asks, is the rumors true that Warner Brothers is going to reboot Superman again without Henry Cavill? That seems to be the situation. Now, as far as rebooting Superman again, I heard they don't plan on making a Superman movie for a while. Now, that doesn't mean they won't bring Superman into other movies here and there. They got a Supergirl movie coming up. And basically the plan is to disconnect everything. It's going to be on its own. Even this Birds of Prey movie is going to be rated R, I guess. Or at least not nearly as in the same vein as Suicide Squad was. The Joker, that's the one that's going to be rated R, definitely. We already knew that, though. But yeah. Yeah, you're not too late, as Sean Strife said. Let's see here. Keeps jumping back on me. I'm trying to get everybody in here. But I do appreciate super chats, guys. Those will help. Unbridled Tuna says meow, meow, meow. Yep, just a casual chat. As someone that works in the industry once, you hear dirt on a project, it's probably worse than it really is. Sometimes it's possible, yeah. It depends on who's running the show and where the rot is setting in. That's a big thing, too. And yeah, it would be nice to see Rick Moranis in Ghostbusters 3 as Sean Strife and James Poole bring up. Just saw Clownfish TV talk about an article from We Got This Covered. What was the subject? Morality124 says the problem is going to be the script. If Tarantino does a complete rewrite, maybe it's worthwhile, but I don't want him to be a figurehead director. Yeah, it all depends on what he wants to do. So that's really it. I mean, he can talk. He talks a lot of talk. Tarantino has said a lot of shit that if you go back, it never came to be. So, I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if this is just another thing that winds up on that pile. Not in the least. James Poole says, with today's standards on Kirk to be Kirk, when it will be rated R, even without cursing. Yeah, you never know. The Spider-Man 4 thing, asked Chef Carolyn Dunlop. Don't know for sure. There was a lot of speculation. I think we're going to find that out in a day or two. Some people were still saying, it could still be Spider-Man 4. They made, or Alex Ross, I don't know if he made him, but Alex Ross took down his post to let everybody to believe it was Spider-Man 4. So I think tomorrow we'll find out what is going on. Do you think we'll see Zack Snyder direct a Star Wars movie? I will give you the same exact answer that Constantino gave you, and that is, oh dear God, why would you even want that? Or why would you even kid about that? Snyder will make a little comeback, I'm sure. Snyder needs to get into stuff that it works for him. It's not that he's a horrible director per se. It's he needs to find the right projects. I mean, for me to sit there and say that his repertoire really should be in smaller pictures is saying something, because his Dawn of the Dead was okay. It wasn't bad. And that's saying a lot. That's what I'm trying to get to. So if he kind of sticks with shit like that, he should be fine. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, it's a chill stream. That's right. Oh, back where I was. Where was I? I don't want to lose my place. James Poole says, I worked with Kevin Spacey for 4 years and watched things get thrown under the bus daily. That'd be interesting to hear about, I'm sure. I don't want to get into the crosstalk here too much. Okay, so I'm pretty much caught up with you guys. What should we talk about next, or should we just shut this down? Because I'm sure they're going to get started on Creepy Little Book if they haven't already. I'm not even 100% sure how many of you there are in the chat. That's a good question. So I took it off my thing for the live streaming. It looks like they are live. So yeah, we'll probably wrap this up. I don't want to stream too much over top of anybody. What are your feelings about the whole Michelle Redjwan situation? Tell me what you guys think about this. I'm interested to hear about it. I'm sure Rob's interested to hear about it. We'll definitely be talking about this and so much more on the next podcast tomorrow. This was just a little impromptu live stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it. But yeah, I probably should just say adieu and have a good day and all that kind of stuff. And hasta la vista, baby, or something like that. Who knows? I don't know. I'm pretty much talking to myself. Oh, Watchmen movie was good. It was all right if you took out a lot of his Snyderisms. Yeah, Angron is angry. Snyder may be the strongest as director of photography. That's pretty much it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna bring this to a close. I want to thank everybody who did join me here on this little live stream in the middle of the night, kind of. What would you guys rather have me do? Would you rather have me do like a morning show or something at night? Let me know in the chat. I brought this up in another comment section, in our community comment section, but let me know what you guys think in the chat if we should do this more often. At night or in the daytime. So yeah.
Thanks for watching. And if you like this video, why not subscribe and click the bell icon for all the latest content? And be sure to check out our other videos. Stay tuned because another video is coming right up.